Hello and welcome all to part 5 of Student Queries Related to Studying in New Zealand series. If you are a student dreaming to study in New Zealand and have queries related to that, then you don't have to worry, as we are here to answer all those questions. And to join us, we are again with Ms. Parvinder Kaur, who is a licensed immigration advisor from West Highlander Immigration, Chandigarh. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, starting with our video, let's jump into our very first query. Ma'am, our first query is related to undergraduate courses. A student is asking that for Indian students applying for undergraduate courses in New Zealand, what is the minimum academic percentage or grade that universities generally accept in their 12th standard exam? And are these differences based on boards like CBSE, ISC, or state boards?
Okay, well, to answer this query, first and foremost, I would like to tell about the types of colleges and the programs which are available. So, if you wish to study in New Zealand, then you may either choose to study in a university, ITP, or a private college. Furthermore, there are hundreds of courses the students may choose to study from depending on the subjects they had in their 10 plus 2. So the students may choose to study engineering, IT, nursing, hospitality, business management, accountancy, and the list goes on. Now coming to your query about the percentage of marks required. Now that would entirely depend on the course you wish to study, as well as it may also depend on the education provider. Let's say that if a student wants to study a bachelor's degree in nursing, then of course the percentage of marks is on the higher end. The students may need at least 70% of marks. Furthermore, the university marks requirement may be higher than the marks in the college. Similarly, if you want to study a bachelor's degree in business management, the percentage of marks required may be lower than the bachelor's in nursing we spoke. So it entirely depends on the course the student wishes to study. So the students may get admission in a Bachelor of Business Management program if they have got 60% of marks in their 10 plus 2.
Okay, so now coming to our next query. Ma'am, between IELTS and PTE, which English language test is generally preferred by New Zealand universities and immigration authorities? And are there any differences in acceptance or validity that students should be aware of?
IELTS and PT, both these English language tests are acceptable by most of the colleges and universities in New Zealand, as well as Immigration New Zealand for visa purposes. So you can apply for your admission with either of these two tests. Now coming about any differences, as I said that if you would like to get admission, let's say in a Bachelor's of Business Management program in New Zealand, and if you have got PTE, then you would be getting admission based on that score, provided that you meet the minimum requirement which is set by the college. Similarly, if you have IELTS band score and you want to get admission into a Bachelor's of Business Management program, let's say, then that would also be accepted. So there is as such no difference in the English language test, speaking about IELTS and PT.
Okay, so now moving on to our third query. Since July intake is near, so many students are asking that currently how long does it take for New Zealand immigration to process a student visa application? And are there any tips to speed up the process or avoid delays?
I would encourage students to file their visa application well in advance if they would like to go for the intended intake. Like as we are speaking about July intake, then the students must apply immediately as of now. So the current processing time may vary from application to application, the kind of information you have submitted with your application, or any further information the case officer may require. So the tentative processing time is about 4 to 5 weeks. 80% of the applications are decided within this time frame. Further answering your query about how the students can do something to avoid delays or what, I would suggest that you apply your student visa application with the complete set of documentation. So if you submit a well-drafted visa application which have got all the information, there may be high chances that the case officer may not need to get back to you for any further information, which may help in faster processing of the application.
Okay, so now coming to our last query of this video. Ma'am, do visa officers usually conduct interviews for student visa applications? And if yes, then how should the students prepare for this interview?
Getting a student visa interview entirely depends on the assessment of the case officer. If the case officer assesses your application and has assessed that all the information which is required for a decision making is available, then the students may not get an interview call. But if somehow the case officer has assessed all the information and the documentation provided with the application, but still needs some information for more clarity for decision making, then there are chances that you may get student visa interviews. So it's not that the students usually get interviews or they do not get interviews. It totally depends on your circumstances.
Well, with that, we come to an end of this video. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you.
And I hope you all like this video. For more personalized guidance, please contact West Highlander Immigration, Chandigarh. Thank you.
Thank you.